Borida, Croeso Swansea, and welcome to FIFA 23. Today I'm excited to share a season with you where we're going to create the best possible Swansea side that could have realistically existed in the Premier League back in 2023. If we're not fired, in the next episode we'll be playing FC 24, then 5, and then FC 26 when it releases. We've already played a season on FIFA 21 and FIFA 22, so we've actually got the base of a really good team already. But let's build on it and make it even better. So why did I even choose to play Swansea in the beginning? Well, you can probably tell from looking at the team. Having Enquiries, Gibbs-White and Geografifa in from the start was amazing. We have tried to keep things as realistic as possible, but today we might be crossing the line. Anyway, over the summer, the club has only really let Flynn Downs move to West Ham, and that's about it. To replace them, we've signed Harry Darling from MK Dons, Nathan Wood from Borough and Joe Allen from Stoke. While Allen might get in the squad, I don't think either of the other two will. And that leaves our squad looking quite average, so we better make some signings. With the Europa League spot booked in from an FA Cup win on FIFA 22, we've been given a budget of over £60 million to spend, and I think I have a plan to spend almost all of it. There's a World Cup coming up in just a few months. We're in July, but in November, the Welsh national team is heading to Qatar for their first World Cup in nearly 40 years. That puts us in a pretty good position to attract some good players, because we found someone who really wants to return to the Premier League. Hello Mr. Captain Wales, hello Gareth Bale, and for just £14 million we get the most successful and probably best British player of all time. He might only give us 12 months before he retires, but how could we say no to this? Because we've been in the Premier League for a while, we can also get a jump on some of the promoted teams. Morgan Gibbs-White joined Swansea for an inflated £24 million with add-ons. We really had to overpay because Forest really wanted him, but it is the dream to have him in our squad permanently now. We also decided to grab Nico Williams before Forest can put a bid in. He's another Welsh national team player, but this time he has no affiliations to Cardiff like Gareth Bale does. Our Nico is from Wrexham and he's used to living in Liverpool, so moving to Swansea is a bit like heading to Monaco for him. Our last signing is less exciting, but still an improvement. I think there's a little bit of Welsh in that Carl Darlow fella, so we can pick him up cheap on loan to play ahead of Hennessy. I think it's safe to say the squad has been improved. It's ready, so let's play pre-season while talking about some of our plans for this year. Let's actually start with the record, because this time I swear we're going to beat it, and it's for the most Premier League goals as someone who's 33 years old or older. The hairline might have been thinning, but the goals weren't going away when Shearer bagged 22 in 2003, and our man Bale is going to try to break it. Sure, we'll be sharing some goals around with Pirot and Enquiries, but we're going to give Bale every penalty, free kick and pullback that we can, and this time we're taking it seriously. We're also taking the league very seriously too. Last year we went on a bit of a run and scraped a 14th place finish after spending the first 6 months in the relegation zone. This year we want better, and our goal is to finish in the top 10, because then we can properly push on when Bale leaves and some of our younger players start to improve like Enquiries. So yeah, pre-season was actually pretty damn good. This new formation we're trying and the new style actually sees us dominate a few games. There's more passes, more possession, more XG and more tackles than some of our opponents, which sets us up pretty nicely to start our season against Brentford. In fact, Brentford, Southampton and Everton are in our first 3 games, and there's a serious chance that we end August on 9 points. So, time to see if I can remember how to play FIFA 23. It has been a long time since I played this game. Fingers crossed it's not as bad as FIFA 21 was. Gibbs-White into Gareth Bale, first touch in the Premier League for Swansea, nearly finessed it far post. That's what we've got Bale in the squad for. Mboimo through to Vitaly Yanel, running through from midfield. Look at that tackle from Rodon, he's collapsed him, but Ivan Toney's into the box. Looks like Hennessy still has it, even though he's like 36. And Cham, good turn, got Grimes. He's got Joel Pirot playing out of position out on the left wing. Blocked, but it's going to be a corner. Grimes into Pirot. And it's going to be back post Mark Geografifa. Who had him as the first scorer of this season? I think last season it was Cabango, and the season before it might have been Rodon. Swansea centre-backs are just different class. And Cham into Enquiries, Gibbs-White. We've got a few runners, but of course we're always going to give it to Bale. Can we through ball it to Enquiries? We can, but it's good save there from Strakowska. And Mboimo got the ball out wide. Geografifa goes in for the tackle. It's a good foul to be fair. But it goes across to Damsgaard, and Nico's got him all day. That's great defending. But Tony wins it back. Back to Damsgaard, back to Tony. We can't get the ball off them, and we were relying on Hennessy there with a great save. Jensen and Mboimo to Tony, and this time Hennessy can't save us. Ivan Toney doing what Tony used to do when he was at Brentford with a great finish. Bale through to Gibbs-White. Surely this is going to be 2-1. Well, he's been muscled away. Bit of a disappointment that. That really should have been a goal from an attacking midfielder. Nico running down the wing. And we've got Enquiries into the box. Come on, this one's got to be a goal. Oh yes, that is a nice finish past the Brentford goalkeeper. And could we be about to win our first game of the season? Brentford are actually a pretty decent team this season too. Manning into Perot. We've got Enquiries making a good run again. Good touch. And his first time shot is a first time goal. 3-1 up. Just have to hold on now for 20 more minutes. And Yanelt's got it to Tony. Oh, straight back into it. 10 minutes to hold on. Come on. We've got to do something with Bale in this first game, surely. Well, Nico tries to get it to Bale, but they're going to keep that in. Come on, Bale. Cut inside. Shoot. Oh, saved by the goalkeeper, but Grimes is there. That is a good midfield play. Following up the shot, getting the goal. Enquiries so close to playing Bale in there. Really annoying interception. Hennessy goes forwards. Probably the last touch of the game for Enquiries. Either we're really good at FIFA 23 or this team is just absolutely unreal. I mean, we dominated Brentford. We had more shots, more passes, more possession, which is rare for us as Swansea manager. So we are on track for that 9 points from 3 games, but Southampton are going to be tough, even with our new signing Carl Darlow in the squad. So are we going to be able to keep a clean sheet? Are we going to finally get Gareth Bale that first goal of the season? Fingers crossed. It is his former club after all. Manning down the left. Cross comes across. That is pretty bad. Good interception from Ncham. Gives it to Bale. And that is a 2-footed challenge through the back of Bale. Lucky to only be a yellow card there for Musa Gineppo. Gibbs-White can return. Kind of. But Ward-Prowse falls on the ball. It comes back to us. That was pretty funny. Can we get Bale into some space? It's actually Nico. And he's actually offside. That Joe Aribo playing it through to Armstrong. Gay with a good standing tackle, but it comes all the way across. And Southampton are ahead. Interesting, they're a much worse team than Brentford, and they're playing in a very different way. And we just can't seem to get a hang of them. Gareth Bale, come on. We've got a man far post. Joel Perot, he stopped his run. We're just going to have to hit this straight at Willy Caballero. Gineppo going into the box. Romo, we missed a tackle. Goes near post. Carl Darlow still hasn't made a save, and we're 2-0 down. And that's Rodon. He's just giving it straight to Southampton. Armstrong pulls it across, and Aribo makes it 3-0 to Southampton. Really, not what we were expecting. Come on, surely we can at least get a consolation goal with Bale. Into the box, 1-on-1. Oh, Caballero saves it with his ankle. Aribo chips it forward to Armstrong. Somehow, the little striker wins the header, 1-2s it, and makes it 4-0. 1 goal for him. Oh, and Bale's also injured. Could this get any worse for us? I really don't think it could. So it's a 4-0 defeat on game week 2. Our stats were awful, and honestly, Carl Darlow didn't make a save from the 4 shots on target. He conceded all 4. Not a great start. And things didn't actually get too much better for us in the league either. We still hadn't actually scored a goal with Gareth Bale. We were still on 4 points after 4 games, and we'd lost 2 of our first 4, despite thinking we could possibly win 3 out of 3 at the start. So we needed our season to get underway, and we have a pretty good record against Crystal Palace as Swansea manager. So hopefully we can make that carry on and finally get that Bale goal. Gibbs-White's in so much space here. Come on. Surely this is going to be a goal. He goes for the trivela. He is such a letdown when it comes to the finishing. Good pass from Gibbs-White. Gets it out to Perot. Back post to Bale. Good header. And that is an even better save. But it does feel like we just can't score a goal with this guy. Nico Williams gives it to Bale. We've got Enquiries trying to make a run, but we're going to 1-2 it to Bale instead. That's a good run from Bale. Surely 1-on-1 with Guita. And he finally gets that first goal of the season. His first goal for Swansea. We are underway. Alan Shearer, we're after you. Enquiries down the left. Gets past Anderson. Can we shoot? Again, Guita with a really good save with his feet. Eze cuts inside. And he's got Odsonne Edouard. Wow, remember him. Gives it to Decore. I think he's possibly offside. He's offside, and he's also stuck in the net. That is not a good combination for Decore. Enquiries using that pace. Back post, we've got Perot. We've also got Gibbs-White. We're going to chip this to Grimes on the volley. That is such a good finish from Grimes. He's got more goals than Bale. I would not have expected that. Oh my god, how unlucky is Gareth Bale getting? That was a perfect contact. Nico dives in and then disappears, which makes me think he's off. Yes, he's been sent off. We're going to have no right back for the last 5 minutes. Ayu's through. It's a great finish. We're really holding on now. That is a very strong tackle from Manning. And it looks like Ward is going to get the ball intercepted. Thank God that was Joel Ward and nobody else. That's a really good header from Gay to finish the match and confirm we have our second win. And finally, we get Gareth Bale off the mark. So we are in a pretty decent position to finish in the top half of the Premier League, but we're in an even better position to go through to the knockout stages of the Europa League. Jan Dander's the only player in this Ross County team that I could actually name, so hopefully we can stop him and get the win. That's a great save there from Carl Darlow, point blank. Gibbs White into Bale, finishes, and I wish the Premier League games were this easy. What a celebration too. Gyökeres through to Gibbs White, 1-on-1, and again, he just can't finish this guy. There's Jan Dander. We had him on FIFA 21, and he definitely couldn't shoot like that back then. That's a great finish. Good cross from Williams, better finish from Joe Allen. Finally, we're ahead where we belong. Grimes to Gibbs White. That's another really bad finish. And that's Gyökeres. We've got Bale across. We're going to just cut it across. He's got a goal, doesn't count towards our record. He's celebrating like he scored in the Champions League final, but it's actually a knockout game against Ross County. It was a lot harder than it probably should have been, but we did get the win and we're through to the knockout rounds. So we're now in November and Bale hasn't had the best season, but still, of course, he has been picked for the Welsh national team squad. Now, I thought it would be rude to play FIFA 23 and not also include a little bit of the Qatar World Cup, because I actually did quite enjoy this World Cup in real life, and for some reason, Gareth Bale is an 87 overall player. Maybe we can find some new signings from some of these guys, like Brennan Johnson, or maybe Aaron Ramsey, to be even more controversial. I promise, we won't spend too much time on the World Cup. We'll be back in Swansea before you know it, but I thought it'd be cool to at least show the 3 group stage games, and then as far as we can get into this tournament. The Harry Wilson goal was pretty spectacular, and that's what we were trying to do, just score fun goals. I wish Bale had finished that. But we won the first game against the United States. Next up was a game against Iran. Now, Iran don't have that good of a team. They have very slow defenders, so we started Dan James, and Bale would get the first goal after just 7 minutes, but he would be offside. And again, this was one of those games that just seemed a lot tougher than it really should have been. Bale would tackle the defender, get through 1-on-1. He would actually finish this time and be onside, but that wouldn't be a win for Wales. Instead, we would collapse to a 2-2 draw against Iran and mean we have to beat England to go through in the group stage. This England team's very strange. They have Sterling playing up front, they have Ward-Prowse in midfield, so it's hardly the strongest team that England could have put out. We had a bit of a chance of actually upsetting them, and that's exactly what we tried to do. We were aggressive in the tackle, like you saw with Joe Rodon. We saw Bale getting forwards and trying to finesse them in the far post. But ultimately, England were just way too strong. Foden would get through. We would do a little bit of a niggly tackle on him. And of course, Ward-Prowse would step up, deflected, and Rice would score the opener. We'd go on to lose 3-1, which, again, not the worst result. We actually got it back to 1-1 with Bale, but then collapsed towards the end. And with that, Wales were out of the Qatar World Cup. And with that, we can now focus on 2 things. Our 2 records, which we're going to try and do in the second half of the season. Bale is nowhere near Erling Haaland, and I can't imagine he's going to overtake him towards the end of the season, but we have about 20 games to go, and we do only need 18 goals. It's going to take some insane form from Gareth Bale, but if anyone in our squad could score that many goals, it is this guy. Oh, for a second, I thought we were going to dance around all of them, but Laporte and I think that's Cancelo, way too good at defending for us to do that. Haaland, ball out wide to Kevin De Bruyne. If it was the other way around, that is definitely a goal. De Bruyne's corner. Okay, maybe we can do a classic Swansea counter-attack. Maybe not, because Phil Foden somehow outmuscled Morgan Gibbs-White. Haaland again out wide. Is that some kind of tactic? Well, it looks like it nearly worked. Foden nearly scoring the volley. Bernardo Silva, he's returned from playing in Spain on FIFA 22, gives it to Alvarez, and that is an absolutely amazing tackle from Rodon to stop the cross. Gyökeres, we've got Bale, come on. Bale against Cancelo. Have we still got the pace to get away from Ake? I think we're going to have to hit this right foot. We do. And it's a good save from Edison. Corner aimed at Bale, and it's Rodri that heads that away. But can we recycle it? We're going for the spectacular finish. Oh, I nearly did find that bottom corner. Bale beats Cancelo, gives it to Gibbs-White. We've got Gyökeres in the middle. Can we find him? We go back to Bale, finesse shot. I think that deflected off a defender and then beautifully tipped wide by Ederson. Haaland has bullied Joe Rodon, as you'd probably expect, and Cancelo gives it to Bernardo, back to Haaland, and it goes through Mark Guehi's legs into the top corner. This is not a good time to concede. Alvarez to Silva to De Bruyne, deflected twice. That is such an unlucky goal. We were competing so well. Bale, come on, can we turn, get that goal? Hits it across the keeper, and it's deflected to Patterson. I think somehow Jamie Patterson has more Premier League goals than Bale this season. Alvarez versus Joe Rodon. It's crossed. Okay, this time we can actually save it. Darlow rolls it out to Joe Allen. We give it to Bale. Can we get it to Gyökeres? Can we get it back to Bale? We're so close to being onside there. I knew it'd be offside as soon as we kicked it. Haaland gets the ball off Rodri. He's just got too much acceleration. We can't get near him when he runs like that. That is 3-1. And probably game over, to be fair. We had a small chance of getting back into it, but I don't think we can do it now. Bale trying to get around Laporte. And then Laporte shoots it at Ederson. Unconventional, but very effective defending. And De Bruyne's shot there. I think it actually froze my PlayStation. That's how fierce it was. We have lost this one. 4 goals, the same that we conceded to Southampton. But can we get a second one here with Gyökeres? Surely. Oh, Bale has missed out on so many goals due to great saves and so many assists due to bad teammates. Yeah, that's right. After 23 games, he's on 6 goals, 4 assists, but he could easily be in double digits with some of the passes that he's been playing through to people. 6 goals is nowhere near the record, but I have a plan. We need to sign some better players so that we can try and beat the other record that I've not told you about just yet. So we're going to go for Brennan Johnson and we're going to go for Ben Davies. Both of these guys are Welsh, which lets us do something very interesting. If you look at our team right here, you might notice there's some unfamiliar names in there like Cullen, Cooper and Cooper. Well, these 3 guys are Welsh, and that's because we're trying to do the challenge to be the first single nationality squad to win a Premier League game that wasn't all English. Every one of our players is Welsh, and if we win this, we are going to break that record today. Hopefully we can do it, because we all know how that last game against Southampton went, and we are playing a few players out of position. Cullen, back to Cooper. Can we 1-2 it into that gap that I see we can? And that's Cullen 1-on-1. Can we finish? He can. He's a better finisher than Gibbs White and probably Bale this season. That's a first Premier League goal for Cullen, who we haven't really used ever in this save. Brennan Johnson to Cooper, and Cullen through again. Is this guy the cheat code that we've been missing all season? It looks like he could be. The all-Welsh squad is 2-0 up against Southampton. The 64 rated striker has a brace. Ben Davies, good bit of strength. And then that is an awful pass. Maitland-Niles, good tackle from Davies, but it falls back to Aribo. And the finish is there this time. Hennessy cannot save that one. Joe Allen playing left wing for some reason. Nearly across to Brennan Johnson. And can the other Cooper get there? He can't. Cullen heads it back to Bale. That is a hit. And that is a goal. That's his 7th goal of the season. Maybe we're going to go on a bit of a streak with him and actually learn how to use Gareth Bale on FIFA 23. Jeanette Poe. Near post again. Hennessy beaten when he really shouldn't be. 5 minutes to hold on. Can we get another goal? Bale trying to use his pace, but it's just not there anymore. The defender's too strong, and the goalie nearly passes it straight to us. Jeanette Poe defended by Davies, and Cullen with a good block. Can Allen get across or somebody? Hennessy with a save. That was like something for FIFA 22. And that is it. We are the first single nationality squad to win a league game in the Premier League that wasn't entirely English. And that did actually start a bit of a streak, both for goals for Bale, who's now on 15 from 27, so an unreal turnaround, and also the team who are pushed into the top half. But could things get even better? Well, relegation threatened Forest were our next opponent, and Bale looked like he was up for this one. Guehi's pass intercepted, but Grimes still gets it to Patterson. We've got Bale in front of him, and should we just hit it? We do, and Dean Henderson with a great save. Corner comes out to Bale, and there it is, another goal. And that is his 16th of the season. Surely we can't get there. We need 6 more to equal the record, and we do have a few more games to go. Nico trying to sweat it across the Bale. The Forest goalkeeper's too good. Bale into Gibbs White. And Gibbs White sees that run from Bale. That is brilliant against Biancone. Bale one-on-one. And Henderson with another save. How unlucky is Gareth Bale? Lewis O'Brien from the edge of the box. That's their first real attack of the game. And the midfielder has scored. Grimes with a beauty of a pass to Bale. Can we finish it? We tried to chip it over Henderson. Serge Aurier is there. Taiwo Awoniyi. He kicks Nico Williams over, and somehow Emmanuel Dennis flicks it over Carl Darlow. And out of nowhere, we're behind to Forest. Patterson, former Forest winger of course, crosses it to Grimes, gives it to Gibbs White. And Henderson's the man again. This goalkeeper is on fire. Patterson's cross blocks by Willy Bolly. Gets another one in. Bale's underneath this one, and that is an absolutely unreal header. 17 goals now. 5 away from the record with about 7 games to play. Trossard into the box, and he sort of falls over into Gahey, but the referee buys it. We're going to dive left. Oh, it's the right decision. Darlow with a beauty of a save off Taiwo Awoniyi, and that is a 2-2. I don't know why we're celebrating, because we really should have won that game. But we do win the next couple and end up in 8th place. We do drop down to 9th place with just 1 game of the season left to go. But Gareth Bale is now on 21 goals from 35 games. That puts him 6th in the top scorer list. And of course, we had to be playing against Newcastle, the team that Alan Shearer set this record for back in 2003. 2 goals breaks the record, 1 equals it, and this is a horrible kick clash. Grimes has the ball out wide to Joe Allen. Gyökeres's header nearly went through to Bale. That would have been very timely. And that's Saint-Maximin. Gives it to Joe Linton. Good save from Darlow against his former club. And Nico Williams approves. Cross comes in, and it's Callum Wilson. Volleys it past Darlow. We're behind, but the result really doesn't matter. It's just about getting Bale that goal. Gibbs White trying to outrun Shaw. Can we finally get that Gibbs White finish? We can. We must have developed him a little bit better on his finishing. Oh, and he does the Gareth Bale tribute celebration as well. Murphy against Manning, and they get the cross in. Joe Linton's there. Okay, can we counter-attack? Where's Gareth Bale? We see him. We're making a run with him. Can we get the ball right? That is beautiful from Gibbs White, but there's not quite enough pace in Gareth Bale's legs anymore. Manning down the left. We've got Bale near post, and that's Brennan Johnson scoring the goal. If we hadn't have moved Bale to striker, that would have been Bale equaling the record. Brennan again cuts inside on target. Tries to play it through to Bale, and again, the pass isn't quite good enough for what Bale has left to offer. Gibbs White to Brennan Johnson. We've got low cross. We finish it. Yes! There it is. The 22nd and record equaling goal. And also, we're 3-1 up against Newcastle, which is an absolutely insane achievement. The fans cheering Bale's name. Wilson cuts it across to Joe Linton. Newcastle being very ruthless with their finishing. A lot of cutbacks, and they're always trying to pick that ball up. Brennan Johnson, great tackle. What do we do? How do we give this to Bale? Let's just wait for him. And can we get it around Nick Pope? We just about manage it. And that is it. 23 goals for Gareth Bale. That is a season to remember. The perfect send-off from the Welsh club to the Welsh legend. I don't know if he ever would have ever joined Swansea in real life, but I bet after watching this, he wishes he had. He could have had a 24th goal as well. And honestly, the rest of the game was kind of irrelevant now. Isak would chip it over Carl Darlow. That would be 4-3 to Swansea. And just a few minutes later, Newcastle would tiki-taka it into the back of the net to make it 4-4. But the real news was Gareth Bale being subbed off in his last appearance. The fans got one last look at the Welsh Wizard. They loved what they saw. And that would be the end of our season. The corner would come in, we would clear it, but we wouldn't be able to counter-attack. A draw with Newcastle, not the worst result. A 9th place finish, again, not too bad. But the 2 records we managed to break are things we can be proud of this season. Gareth Bale finishing 6th place in the top scorer, and after the match, he got to go to the one place he loves the most. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode, and you'll be back to watch the FC24 one, which will be coming out next Sunday, or if you want to become a channel member, you'll be able to watch it basically straight away if you've already watched this one. If not, thank you for watching anyway, I really do appreciate it, but I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching, cheers, and goodbye.